Okay, in this situation today, we're going to try and simplify rational exponential expressions. That's a lot to take in. But problems like the one I'm showing you here, this is a simpler problem. So 4 to the 8th divided by 4 to the 6th. And so, you can think of this problem, there's 8 of these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, not that you have to write them out. Well, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So you have a whole bunch of 1s that you're crossing out. Oh, but we got 2 that didn't cross out because they ended up with 1. So you end up with 4 to the 2nd here. Another way to think of this is your rules of exponents. 4 to the 8th over 4 to the 6th means that you can also, they're the same base, so you can subtract your exponents. So it's equal to 4 to the 8 minus 6, or 4 to the 2nd power. One thing I like to do is, you cross out 6 4s there, and you know that you'd have 2 left there. That's kind of the way I do it. All right, so let's ramp it up a little bit. So here's the next problem. Go ahead and give this a try. Maybe pause the video for a second. All right, so here we go. If you tried it, let's see if we can't get this done. Now, notice I threw in a parenthesis there that really not really necessary. There's no exponent. You can assume there's a 1 there, but we can just take it out. So this one, you just add your exponents. Notice this is a q to the first, this is a p to the first. And so we can, since they have the same base, you can add those. So this is 3p q to the 3rd power on the top. On the bottom, nothing really to simplify, but I like to simplify both the top and bottom separately. Okay, so then your next is, let's do what we did on that last problem where we just cross out. Well, 3 divided by 6 is 2. You'd have 2 on the bottom. P to the first, you can cross 1 p out. Well, if you cross a p out, there's 2 down here, so there's 1 left. And then we're going to cross out 3 q's, and there's 1 left on the bottom. So on the top, everything's gone. Well, it's not 0. There's still a 1 there. And on the bottom, you'd have, and let me kind of scroll down a little bit, you'd have a 2 coefficient left, p to the 1st power, and q to the 1st power. And there's your final answer. Got a little squiggle going on. Okay, so let's ramp it up one more notch. And here's your next one. So, pause the video, try it out, and then I'll solve it for you. Okay, so for this one, there's lots of ways to do this, but what I like to do is do your power to power stuff first. So this -4, there's an 8 to the 1st power there. So that -4 is going to go to both of those. And so I wrote kind of big, so we're going to have to do a little moving around. Sorry about that. So that would be 8 to the 4th, 8 to the -4th, y to the -8th. So 8 to the -4th, y to the -8th. And so that's the first deal. Again, there's a 1 here, so that's 8 to the -2nd. So we're going to go times 8 to the -2nd, and then y to the -10th, because you multiply in power to power, over, now we'll do the same on the bottom. Notice you've got an 8 to the -3rd, and then the 2nd here, we're going to multiply those, so that's 8 to the -6th, and then y to the -8th. All right, so I think I can, yep, so there we have it. Now, the next thing I like to do, and this is just my preference. You could have gotten rid of the negative exponents first, but for some reason I make fewer mistakes doing it this way. The next thing I like to do is get rid of the negative exponents. So this moves down. This moves up. Any negative exponent. Y to the -8 moves up. Y to the -8 moves down. They're also going to cross out. This moves down. This moves down. And so you've got so you've got positive exponents. Otherwise, it just gets, all those negatives end up messing you up. So that's 8 to the 4th, 8 to the 6th. So those are done. We move down the y to the 8th. Y to the 8th moves up top. 8 squared goes to the bottom. Y to the 10th goes to the top. And if you don't know, the rules for negative exponents, look that up and spend some time with negative exponents. This is kind of a little more advanced video. All right, so anything, you have 8y's here, so you can cross out with the 8y's there. This y to the 10th isn't going to cross out with anything. Notice you've got 8 to the 4th and 8 squared. So, let me rewrite this. You got 8 to the 6th, y to the 10th, over 8 to the 6th, because 4 plus 2 is 6. So now you've got an 8 to the 6th and an 8 to the 6th cross out, and you've got your final answer, y to the 10th power. And so hopefully that helps, and see you next time.